Since the passing away of the late Mr. Gavin Watson, the Commission has received a number of inquiries from the media on whether or not it was intending to call him to give evidence and whether there are any steps it had taken to that end. We have not been able to issue a media statement, but I've decided that I will give the response now. And the response is that, yes, indeed, he was one of the people that the Commission intended to give an opportunity to come and give evidence and put his side of the story before the Commission and be questioned by the evidence leaders and the Commission. But he had not been called to give evidence as yet, and no date had been arranged. But what had been done is that either last week at some stage or the week before that, I had signed what we call a Regulation 10.6 directive. And that is a directive that the chairperson is empowered in terms of the regulations to issue to a person that may have information that is relevant to the terms of reference of the Commission. And in terms of that in terms of the powers given to the chairperson under Regulation 10.6, the chairperson can direct a person to appear before the Commission or to furnish an affidavit or statement in regard to certain matters. In the case of the late Mr. Gavin Watson, the Regulation 10.6 directive that I had signed was not one that required him to appear before the Commission as yet, but it was one that required him to furnish an affidavit dealing with various matters that had been dealt with in the statement of Mr. Agrizi, and the personnel of the Commission had already been in touch with his attorneys, and attempts were being made to arrange for the directive to be served on Mr. Watson. But I understand that his attorneys had indicated that the service should be on them. The directive had not yet been served at the time of his passing on.